What's up, everybody? It is Andy Smith, your drawing dynamics comics guy. I wrote the book on the subject, and I can say that because I did write a book called Drawing Dynamic Comics. Link in the description below. Go get yourself a copy. All right, guys. Twisting and turning the figure. I want to title this Twist and Shout. I guess the shouting would make sense if you twist the figure too far. Let's start. All right. Twisting and turning basically deals with the waist, shoulder, right? So you've got this area here. Look at that. You've got the torso, and then you've got the waist box right here, and the torso straight on, arms come off, legs, knees, elbows. Okay. So twisting and turning. From above, you've got shoulder, shoulder, and we'll throw them down a little bit of perspective. And then you've got the waist, right? We're looking down on this guy now. Okay. You got the hips, right? And you want to turn the figure. Okay. Well, let's say we turn, God, I always do that. Draw it on the wrong layer. We turn his shoulders like this. But his hips stay like this. Well, now the center line comes around and it has a curve to it, to the crotch like that. And that's pretty subtle. You know, if we're looking at it straight on like here, and he brings this shoulder forward some, this shoulder swings back some, the center line of his upper body is now curved because of how his body is twisting, which means now you'll see some of the side. Remember, this is think dimensional. And the body now has a twist to it. Like that. And you could almost look at this like a potato sack. This is kind of an animation thing where you've got four corners of the potato sack, right? And it's potato sack has weight to it and stuff and mass. And if you turn it like this, these are the four corners of it, which represent the shoulders and the hips. And it curves around. Now, because this shoulder is coming forward, which you would say is the arm, and then this arm is going back like this, any way you want. Twist and shout. It's Elvis Presley. This leg is coming forward now because it's opposing. And then this leg is going back. Remember, in the foreshortening video I did, I always draw the cylindrical lines going around the forms so you can see how they're coming at you or going away from you. It's the cross section of the form. and then the big form torso here, and then let's say his waist is going back as well, so his whole body's coming at you like that. So you can think of the whole potato sack. New layer. I'll get this right. There you go. If the potato sack twists this way, whereas this comes forward, which means this goes back, and then bring this side forward, this side back. This is really extreme. And then the center line here, and it curves all the way around to here. So it's really extreme, and this is too extreme for a figure to really twist, because you see this center line here and it comes around, goes all the way to here, and I'll show you with anatomy over top of it why it's a little too much. And then once again, this arm's forward. This arm doesn't have to be shooting back this way. It could just be off to the side some like this, and then maybe the forearm's going back as well, and the hand, whereas this one, the hand's coming forward. And then the head might be turned some, looking in this direction as he's twisting. And then this leg could be coming forward and bent back. And then this leg could be going just back behind him like that. That's an extreme twist. So when you're twisting a body, if you think about it once again from like this top view we did here, and the shoulders start here, and the waist is here, and they're parallel, right? Twisting wise, that's about as far as you would go with it. And this is really foreshortened. Anything more than that, like this, is just way too much of a twist. It doesn't look bad when you look at, just these lines, but when you start putting forms on it, and if you want to break it down to the forms of, say, a cube, you're starting with the upper body, torso, just breaking it basically as a rectangle like this. And then if you do the lower body, curve that much, where the hips are here, and then go back under the body here, disappear under here, you'll see, even when I'll try and flop some anatomy on it, and you'll see that it's a little too much of a twist, even for superhero comics. And one of the guys like Gil Kane, Alan Davis, they twist bodies great. But let me show you, and even let's kick this out some. right? I'll show you why that could really cause problems drawing wise. Twisting a figure that much. Simple anatomy. This is his chest. His shoulders are here. Clavicles. If you saw a previous video, I showed how the clavicles go back from the pit of the chest, and then for the arm, they basically have a shape like that looking down. It's a more subtle curve, but that's basically it. So, okay, so this guy's really twisted, right? This is his upper body. I don't want to get too much into anatomy because for beginner type stuff, it could kind of mess you up. So I'm just trying to keep it simple. So you've got the pecs that come down, and whatever the shoulders are doing, which is this, the bottom of the pecs do the same thing. Okay. Erase that a little bit. And then the way I break up the abdominal muscles, which I don't have any, is the first set of abs come along like the bottom of the rib cage and go in the same direction as the shoulders and the pecs. The next set of abs, now continue the center line. Now remember, this is the twist that is like, this guy's broken, right? Because the center line comes down, and remember, he's got a hip joint here, a hip joint way back here, which you can't see. Remember, think in 3 dimensions, the center line is over here for this, which means this center line comes down and goes over here like this. And that's his crotch. And then this is like, basically picture a pair of underwear, jockeys, tighty whities, if you will. And tighty whities kind of look like this from the front. And then a 3-dimensional shape of tighty whities. Look like this. So this is a way you can make a waist box. And then the backside, you'd see a little bit of, because of how the buttocks muscles hang down. So if you think of this right here, and then this edge of the box right here is now right here because of this insane twist. And it goes all the way around up in here, which you can't see anymore because the overlap of his body. And then this is the backside, which is his buttocks. And his leg would come down. Well, now another set of abs right below this set, abdominal muscles, and the abs twist around too. So just to show you up here, these are the side of his abs, right? And if he's standing straight up, they just pretty much go up like this. Call that the rib cage cutout, the center line, abs, abs, abs. Once he twists, these top abs, like I said, whatever the shoulders do, these do. This bottom set right here, whatever the waist box, which is this does, they do. These abs right here are the accordion ones. So if you've got the rib cage like this, and then the hips like this, right? you've got these abs that go with the shoulders, these abs that go with the waist, and then these abs are the ones that rotate, or not rotate, but compress. It's like an accordion. So here, this next set really turns around underneath this top set, and then this bottom set goes with what the hips are doing. And your oblique muscles kind of come down off of the rib cage here, where the rib cage turns back and around. And the obliques come down and go back to the back. So that's hard to see. I'm going to clean it up over top, but once I do, you'll see why that twist is pretty extreme. More extreme than I would usually go. Make this pencil just a little bit smaller. Okay. Chest muscles. Remember, we've got these arms going back. Like that. Rib cage. And then these first set of abs. I always block in the serratus muscles or whatever those things. I like to call them the rib cage muscles. So you can see the twisting going on here. And then these next set of abs are the ones that flex and twist. Like this. And then this bottom set, like I said, they totally do what the waist is doing. So I could actually bring these down a little bit more. Because on this side, going into the turn or the twist, these muscles are really crunching up like this. Like those are up there. And it's really stretching right here and then here. And then these go around underneath the obliques of the figure of the side, come around, hit the top of the pelvis, and then the lower abs go down. This is the back of the pelvic box right here. It comes down like this. And then the leg. Remember, I always do my cross-section lines for perspective and stuff. Because he's twisting where the hips are going this way, this leg is coming forward. This side of his hip is going back, so this leg would be going back like that, and you wouldn't see much of it. But when I take off this layer, that is one hell of a twist in a figure. Not that it's impossible, but you just want to be careful not to twist the figure too much, because it could just look very strange. You know, a better one using this torso here that I did that won't look as painful to this guy would be, let's see, turn this one off, turn that one off, turn this one on. I'll just go through and erase this. So we want to do a little twist to this guy. Like we said, shoulders this way. A better one would be something more subtle, where his hips are maybe going this way. So this side is still coming forward. This side is still coming back. The center comes down, keeping it in the old box there. Like that. If we were to see through the boxes, you'd see the top of this one. This corner goes up and underneath the bottom of the torso box here. This is the bottom of it. The groin comes down a little bit. And then this is making the whole tighty-whitey type underwear line like that. So this one works better. So then going back up to, oops, this guy here, duplicate it. Take all this away. And now using the new one that we have set up with a twist that's not as extreme. Stern line comes down. It twists over to here. And remember, it's going this way. So the obliques cut in. And the obliques, same, go in the same position as the hips this way, parallel. So those are the obliques. Go around, clean that up a little bit. And then this is really crude, but these bottom abs, remember, they parallel the hips. Like that. These first set of abs cut in, paralleling the shoulders. And then the mid set are the ones that twist. Like that. Leg forward, leg back. So then going up to, let's see, get rid of that. Oops, nope, turn the wrong one. Get rid of that. Lower this. Turn this one back on, but I'll dupe it. Dupe the layers so you can see the before and after. Get rid of all this. Trying to make the pencil the right size I want to use. Okay. Here, and then you got these abs. These are the ones that are like the accordion where they can crunch and move. And then these lower set go in with these lower set are parallel with whatever the hips are doing. And the leg. That leg is back. And it's more subtle. Oops. I always turn the wrong one on. And it's a little more subtle now. So you've got this, which is the shoulders are going this way. And then this goes a little more. And then this a little more. And you've got that more subtle twist on this figure. This very crude figure right there. Just to show you, for instance, even on this subtle one we did up here, center line comes down. Chest muscle. And even drawing the individual muscles, I'm thinking about three-dimensional shape. And then even if the guy doesn't really have a full six, because I mean, ladies, how many of us guys have a six-pack? Let's just say you can see just a little bit of the rib cage. No obliques cut in. And remember, the obliques do what? They parallel the hips, because this is a bony landmark, because the oblique muscle is riding on top of the pelvis. So parallel. This is still a straight on shot, so the center line would be in the center. Like that. Shoulders. Rib cage. And then even if he's not that built, where he has a six-pack, you can just kind of indicate like that. Where's the initial layer? There it is. Oops, that's not it. It's right here. And you can see, and I always try and do these nice, graceful, sweeping lines. Because it lends more motion and rhythm to your art than harsh lines like this. Now you can do lines like this after you get like these initial sweeping lines down. You can definitely lay in harder lines, but you can see the subtle twist on this figure. And if it's a dough, not even a doughboy, if it's just a regular dude, you know, that might not hit the gym that much, well, then there's still subtle indications of things I would draw. Which would be just a little bit of the center line. The pec would just kind of end because it would flow into the rest of the skin because the guy doesn't really work out much. So, you know, another landmark would be if he's not wearing a shirt, drawing his nipples in and stuff, because that helps show the subtle twist of the body as well. And then, like I said, he doesn't have to have a six-pack, but you might still see a center line on him, and then slight rendering here to show how the rib cage curves in, and then you might just see a slight indication of his Surratt muscles there. Like that. And, it's just a doughier, not doughier. Why do I keep saying doughy? He's not doughy. He just doesn't hit the gym all the time. Come on, ladies. You can't, we have a lot going on. We can't be living in the gym like the dudes you see on magazine covers and stuff. Soft lines like this to indicate the shoulder. Arms throwing a shadow down. Anyhow, I'm just going off the deep end here, drawing stuff. But that's a little bit on twisting. Now you can get really torqued with it if the guy's like throwing a punch. If it's like an extreme action. Because I've been known to like do this myself, and let's see. Well, I'll just do it right here. Let's see. Move this over. Where, for instance, I might draw a guy. So right here, I'm setting up, and this is how I draw stuff. These are his shoulders, right? And his center line is right here. And then his hips are here and there. So this is really getting kind of extreme into the motion because we're seeing the front of his body here. And then the way I'm doing the hips, you actually see this, the bottom of this, remember, is his butt. So you would actually see some of the center line of, say, a costume, butt, whatever, and then a leg. It doesn't, even though this hip is technically coming forward compared to this one, it doesn't mean you have to draw the leg sweeping forward like that. Drawing the leg back, but it's a little more forward compared to this leg, which would be way back here. Gets the point across as well, right? He could be flying into a scene. So like this arm is coming forward. He's got a fist because this dude's flying into a scene kind of pissy. So this arm is coming forward. Once again, my contour lines. And this arm, he could be pulled back and then bent back up because he's making a fist, like he's flying in and he's drawing back because he's going to punch somebody with this fist right here. And you can kind of see the potato sack coming into shape, because if this was the potato sack, it'd be like that and like that, and it would go whoop, whoop, corner of the potato sack, corner here, down, overlapping, center of the potato sack comes down and goes around. See? And then with the center line here, his clavicles shoot, curve around. This is the old neck hole where the neck comes out of. His head looking in the direction he's about to punch some dude. Contour lines once again. That's his chest. First set of abs, and these abs all roll around with the twist of the figure. You see? And then real quick, just dumping some, I'll throw some rough anatomy on it. Another thing too is to give more motion to your figures, whatever you want the hips and the shoulders and the head to be working in opposite of each other. So I didn't do his head. His shoulders are going this way. So I didn't do his head like this because that's stiff. You can see I did it like this. So a quick little diagram here is you've got the shoulders going this way, the hips going this way. Well, then you want the head going like this, which adds another twist to the figure, as you can see, and it gives more motion to the figure. So as sloppy as this is, let's see, add a little anatomy. Let your anatomy do it. Oops, gotta add that new layer, Smith. Chest, clavicle, shoulder muscle. Pec muscle swings out. I'll have to do a video on muscle attachment and stuff, because it really does come down to just like on the regular size person, like if you're drawing like a Hulk or somebody like that, these rules will be different. But where they connect, because you can see how the pec connects on the sternum right in the center, comes to the edge of the rib cage, and then it basically pulls off because it goes up into the humerus, the funny bone, the humerus, the upper arm. Rib cage, and then everything's curving around. Contour lines because of the twist. This is the side of the rib cage, which, if you think of the rib cage like an egg, curves around and then into the body like that. The opening of the rib cage. And you can't break outside this egg. So once you set up this rib cage like this, can't go outside of it. This is latissimus dorsi. And then the twist really comes into effect. Bottom of the rib cage, the obliques come off. Like that. Remember what I said about, oops. The way I do the first set of the abs, basically go right with the sweep of the rib cage, which is the same as the shoulders. So like that, and then this set here twists around and underneath. And then this set, coming down to where the obliques are, goes with the hips, which are this way. So it just bows around like that. This is more of an elongated figure, but it's exaggerated, and it can show you the twist that I'm talking about better with the exaggeration. And this arm is going forward. It's the elbow. Forearm. We all have that little bone at the base of our wrist, or the side of our wrist where the pinky side is. There's that bone right here. And then the fist of fury. This muscle deltoid stretches all the way back and connects on the outer side of the humerus. Bicep comes out underneath that and bulges up. Tricep bulges down some. And like I said, you want the head to be doing something. And he's looking in a specific direction, but it's also different. Shoulders, head. So it just creates more dynamics in the figure as well. And once I get all this down is when I start really playing with the anatomy and putting the anatomy in and stuff. But I get this stuff down first. You know, like I said, you turn this layer off. Oop, there's another layer. And that off, and you can see the figure twisting more. Now, let's just remove that so you can kind of see it more. And this applies to women as well. Same rules apply. It doesn't matter. It's just proportions for drawing women obviously are different than men. And once you have the shapes down, that's when you can start busting in the anatomy and stuff. You can bulge this muscle more. Just depends on the character you're drawing. Oops. I keep forgetting when I do that, it recenters everything. Oops, sorry. And these serrat muscles here on the side, they don't move. They are always in the same spot relative to the chest. And where they connect and stuff. And then if you want, you can, everybody's different. You give this guy another set of abs. Who cares? It's comics. It's comical books. And then his butt. And then this is the leg going back. Anyhow. So there you go. It's a short video. Well, what I call short. And it was about twist and shout. And we covered stuff like figure standing up, the hips, shoulders parallel, no twist there. Looking down below, parallel, you can give it a subtle twist like that. That's a twist to the figure. And then we did some drawing over top of that to show different examples. And then extreme twists, which could kill somebody. Actually, it's weird. I saw this episode. I think it was a show called Homicide back from the late 90s, early 2000s. And this dude fell between, he was trying to, he was at a subway station saying in New York or something. And you've got the platform here that somebody stands on, waiting for the train to go by. Woo, woo, train's going by, whatever. But this platform from the side, it's like this, and you've got train tracks here, and then the train, sits on top, whatever, not that far down, of course, because the wheels sitting on the tracks. And then the person, when the train stops, steps into the train. This dude in this episode, holy crap, this is crazy. In the episode, I gotta do a new layer. In the episode, this dude fell, so we'll put it in perspective, between the concrete, that platform that you stand on, and then the train, right? And the train was coming, and he couldn't get out of the way in time. And the train, basically, he's here. So this is his torso, right? And the train side got onto his waist, his hips. And so his shoulders are here. And his center line, we'll say, is right here, right? And he's trying to get out. So this is his back. So his head is facing this way. And the train grabbed onto his hips and twisted him so far around that basically this is his left arm, right arm. His right leg was all the way where his left leg should be. That's how bad his body got twisted. And he couldn't feel any pain because of how it messed up his spinal cord. And they said, do you have any loved ones you want us to call? And he's like, yeah, sure. And basically they told the guy, look, as soon as the train moves, the only way we can get you out is by slowly, moving the train. But the problem is, as soon as the train is holding your lower body together with your upper body, and as soon as the train moves, lower body goes bye-bye. And he basically will pass away in a matter of, seconds. So they gave the guy as much time as they could to talk to his loved ones. And that was basically that. It was a heart-wrenching episode. So that's an example of an extreme twist in a body. And anyhow, we ended up here showing a superhero type dude, whether he's flying or something, who knows, whatever, showing more of a extreme twist onto him. On this one, we kind of showed a regular dude here. Definitely not Mr. Six Pack, type of guy with a subtle twist and stuff. So I hope you found this interesting. I love doing this type of stuff. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have ideas on other type of videos you would like to see. Until next time, thank you for joining. And of course, go sign up for Lilineth Infernal Conflict. Oh yeah, there's the homage cover. There is the main cover. Look at the twist. She's got a pretty good twist going on here, swiping at this bad dude. He's got more subtle twist going on. Start paying attention to comics to check them out and notice them. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye. Subscribe.